Compass FM, that is the Cars, Rikoka second. The time is now 28 minutes past 11. A regular here at Compass FM. Glen from Health 2000 on High Street, Rangiora. Fantastic shop, great staff and very knowledgeable staff too. Glen is a mine of information. Always enjoy it when Glen pops in for a bit of a chat. G'day, Glen.
Hi, John. How are you going?
Really good, thank you.
Good.
And we're talking vitamin D today. What is vitamin D?
Vitamin D is actually produced in your body from the sunshine, and it's a hormone effectively. It acts like a hormone. Most of your vitamin D does not come from your diet actually. A lot of people say, oh, as long as you eat proper you'll be fine. Well, you only get about 10% of your vitamin D from your actual diet. The rest of it is actually made in your skin layers from the sun.
Okay, so the sun isn't sending us vitamin D.
No, we don't breathe it in or anything like that. You actually have to get into the sun and allow your body to make it. Well known in New Zealand that we don't get enough sun. And also Northern Hemisphere up around England at the moment, of course, it's winter time, and they also are well aware that they don't get enough sun to produce enough vitamin D.
Now hang on, back up your truck there, Glen.
Yeah, sure.
We don't get enough sun in New Zealand?
No, particularly over winter time. So when you're closer to the equator, you get a lot more sun, of course. Further you get away from the equator, then you start to run into signs of vitamin D deficiency. So you start to run into things like depression, lower back pain, muscle pain. You run into things like poor calcium absorption and immune problems. So a lot of the problems you get in northern and southern hemispheres at quite some distance from the equator, you don't see those health problems at the equator. MS, Parkinson's, that sort of thing. So it has a massive effect on your immune system. In fact, that's the reason your body makes so much vitamin D from the sun.
So the tropical countries, they've got the sun all year round.
Yeah, that's right.
Down under here, we've got it in the summer, but over winter.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said earlier that most of our vitamin D is made within the body from the sunshine, but there are some foods that provide us with vitamin D. You said about 10%.
Yeah, that's right.
What are those foods, Glen?
Well, you get vitamin D from, because it's fat soluble, you get it from like eggs. Salmon, oily fish, cod liver oil, if you want to go that way. But just to give you an idea, if you're in the sun, and I would think in New Zealand it would only be 20 minutes before you start to turn a little bit pink for a lot of people. Well, in that time, your body will make around 18,000 international units, which is a measurement of it. An egg has 20.
20.
So
that shines a light on it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so you do need to get into the sun, and you can see what happens over winter time, and in England at the moment where they're having extreme problems with their current situation. The government's actually issued about 2 million prescriptions free of vitamin D to people who are susceptible.
Okay.
So although unfortunately the level's only 400 IU, which is really nothing when you compare to your body will make 18 or 20,000 in a very short time. 400 international units is not really going to be that effective, but you know that's based on some they're starting to get into that area of recommending vitamin D based on some very sound research.
Very interesting. We need vitamin D, otherwise we're going to get the winter blues. You know, it's there's all sorts of things. So for people who are sensitive to the sun, when we're in winter and we're not getting a lot of sun and we're only getting a piddly amount from our food, what do we do?
Probably if you can't get out in the sun for 10-15 minutes a day, and there often isn't any sun anyway, then you definitely need to look at your diet and try and increase some vitamin D, salmon, tuna. Other than that, if you are susceptible to low vitamin D, then it would be supplementation. And you'd need about, at the very minimum, 2,000 international units a day. I always like people to go to the doctor and get a blood test, which you can do for vitamin D, because you really need to get your vitamin D levels at a high optimum level coming into this winter, because it's such a powerful effect on the immune system, which means you won't nearly get as sick as you used to, and also it's extremely powerful for fighting off viruses as well.
Flu?
Yeah, flu, yep. Well shown overseas, which is why they're starting to actually prescribe it and recommend it.
Gee, am I getting my... Is the flu a virus?
An actual flu, yes. Yeah,
It is.
yeah. Cold's more bacterial, flu's an actual virus.
yeah.
So, one of the most important things about vitamin D is that effect on the immune system, and we don't simply can't get enough over winter time.
Okay, so if I was to come to Health 2000, I need a bit of a top up.
Yep.
In other words, I don't feel I need to go to the doctor because it's not that serious,
Yep.
but I could do with more. How powerful are the over-the-counter pills that you can...
They're about 1,000 IU each.
and you need 2,000 a day, so
Yeah, I would say a minimum of 2,000 a day.
a couple of pills a day
Yep.
should see you pretty right.
Yeah, the little tiny wee tablet goes under your tongue. It just dissolves. But of course, if you're working as, say, an accountant or lawyer inside all the time, then you're not going to get any vitamin D, and you also don't get it through glass windows either, sitting in the sun.
You don't?
No, because it filters out UVB, so
Yep.
you don't actually produce it in your body at all. You've actually got to get out in the sun.
Okay, so most of our farmers have probably got enough
Yeah.
vitamin D.
Yeah,
but,
I would say farmers or people working in orchards or outside somewhere wouldn't be overly concerned. But if you're sitting inside a lot, inside shops, inside offices, etc., then I would certainly be paying that quite a bit of attention coming into this winter.
Very interesting. Thanks so much, Glen. Glen Seal from Health 2000, based on High Street right here in Rangiora. You're listening to Compass FM, and the time is 26 minutes to midday.